Trump, Tucker Carlson comes out and says a few words on, I think it was the Steve Bannon, and he had a couple different tweets, Rob. I don't know if you have the tweets. I don't know if you have the videos. Whichever ones you want to prepare. I'm just going to go right into the story here of what happened with Trump and Tucker. Is this the clip of him and Steve Bannon? So here's the issue with Israel, Iran. There's a camp that says, attack, let's take out Iran. You know, Scott Jennings from CNN comes out and says that, you know, argues U.S. should bomb key Iranian nuclear sites. And a lot of people are on the same page with him, but there's a complete different side. Jennings, one of the most effective defenders of President Trump on cable news, wrote from Jerusalem, Israel, on Sunday that U.S. should bomb Iran nuclear facilities at Fordo. My thoughts from Jerusalem: Israel is on the brink of remaking the Middle East and ending the biggest sponsor of radical Islam terrorism in the world. Trump's strategic part in this move was brilliant. Trump has stated correctly that there can be no peace if Iran obtains a nuclear weapon. This is a tenet of America's first foreign policy. The Iranian terror regime has never been weaker. Thank you, Israel. This is what he says. The chance to end them as a destabilizing force cannot be dismissed. In my opinion, Trump would be justified in taking out Fordo nuclear enrichment facility. It would be a righteous decision, and if he does it, no question in my mind that he would deserve the Nobel Prize. This is a once-in-a-generation chance to make the world safer and defend Western civilization. Bomb Fordo, destroy the Iranian octopus, restore deterrence, win the Nobel, America first hashtag. That's Scott Jennings. And then here is Tucker Carlson on Steve Bannon talking about the same issue. Very different opinion. Go for it, Rob.
I actually really love Trump. I think he's a deeply humane, kind person. And I am saying this because I'm really afraid that my country's going to be further weakened by this. I think we're going to see the end of American empire, obviously. Other nations would like to see that, and this is a perfect way to scuttle the USS America on the shoals of Iran. But it's also going to end, I believe, Trump's presidency and effectively end it. And so that's why I'm saying this.
What do you mean by that? That's coming from you. That's
you get. Look, I knew Bush. I knew George W. Bush. We had, family connections to Bush. I knew Bush personally. I still see Bush sometimes, and of course, he hates me, and he does because I criticized him on Iraq, and that war is the sum total, from a historical perspective, of his administration. But I knew him, and he had all kinds of plans for the things that he wanted to do. But once domestically, right, to improve the country.
Right.
And you may agree or disagree, but like in his mind, he wasn't just about the invasion of Iraq in March of 2000.
Oh, no. He was going to redo Social Security.
100%,
He had all
100%.
all types of. He was going to take care of the entitlements issue.
And he really thought it was going to work.
Yep.
And you could laugh at that or whatever, but the point is, the second you get enmeshed in a real war, not a fake, let's go bomb the villagers and declare success, though we don't even have a good track record. Like, why are the Houthis still there?
No,
I mean, there's a whole other question,
right,
which is how prepared is the U.S. military for a real conflict? And the answer is totally unprepared. Scary unprepared.
Okay, so that's that. They go.
But anyway,
do you have the tweet, Rob, of what Tucker said? Do you have the tweet on Mark Levin, all these other guys?
I can find it.
So anyway, so while that's happening, somebody asked President Trump about Tucker Carlson. I don't know if you saw this one. Did you see what he said? Live. Somebody asked President Trump, Rob, I sent you the clip if you have that. Here's when he's asked, out of nowhere, hey, about Tucker Carlson, watch what he says. Go for it.
Very good job. What was your response to Tucker Carlson criticizing you, saying that you were complicit in the war?
I don't know what Tucker Carlson is saying. Let him go get a television network and say it so that people listen.
And quickly, have you spoken to...
Well, damn.
Vinny, thoughts on this entire exchange?
On this exchange?
I mean, not just this exchange. You have Scott Jennings, one camp that's saying attack, take him out. You got one camp saying no, don't do it. Where are you at with it?
Just in a nutshell, Pat. I mean, listen, you got to tip your hat to Bibi Netanyahu just from the jump. Every single time this guy has asked for a war and wanted us to get involved, it has worked. Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq. Every time, if Trump is warning and we're sending airplanes and we're sending all this stuff, that guy wants it, that guy gets it, okay? And this whole situation, Pat, let's just be honest. Tucker has not shifted. Besides being America first, we don't want any new wars. This is what we were talking about. Yes. This is what we were promised. I don't want another war. Period. And I don't know how does it flip? And that's my question back to you guys. How do you go from no to peace treaty to this to absolutely no war, and then all of a sudden it flips? It's just a complete 180. And it's like, I don't understand it. He was pro peace, and then Mike Walls got caught in those rooms with the Israeli signal chat. Trump got pissed off at Bibi. He's like, what the hell are you doing? He goes overseas for those meetings. He doesn't even meet with Bibi. So there's beef. There was beef there. And then all of a sudden, now they have nuclear weapons. And if you saw Tulsi Gabbard in March, she said, the United States intelligence community continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khomeini has not authorized a nuclear weapon program that he suspended in 2003. Okay, by the way, and then Trump says she has no idea what she's talking about. So you mean to tell me the director of national intelligence isn't intelligent on this topic? And it's like, here's my thing, Pat. I've been getting a lot of messages from people from Iran and everything like that. I just hate the games that are being played, okay, especially with Bibi Netanyahu. If you want regime change, which I know he does, just say it. Stop with the nonsense about Iran trying to assassinate Donald Trump and trying to drag us into it, okay? You don't need to do all that shit. Just say you want it. There's 90 million people there. I got a message on Minek this morning, Pat. I got to show you this. Just really fast. This is a guy on Minek that's Iranian. And you know what his attitude is? He's like, listen, you guys are on. You guys are getting pulled into another war. He goes, the Iranian people need change, but not through war, through their own will, through protests. That's how real, lasting change happens. Not other countries going in and saying, this is what you need. Okay? And in regard to the nuclear stuff, Pat, this is my assessment is, that every country has, because I know everybody's attitude is, well, why do they have nuclear facilities and all that stuff? Every country has nuclear energy. That's not the issue. It's transparency. That's why we have the IAEA. It's the International Atomic Energy Agency. Their job is to verify that nobody's building bombs, okay? Iran signed it. They go there. They check on their shit. Israel doesn't sign it. Israel's not involved in it. And as everybody always says, and Adam, you've said it before, Israel doesn't have nuclear weapons. Yes, they do. And you know why? Nobody can go in there and see what they're doing. I don't like the attitude. I don't like the flip-flop. I don't want, because everybody's going to say, Pat, well, we need to take them out. They're building a bomb. He's been saying it since 2012. I don't believe it. That's my point of view.
Tom,
that's
thoughts?
it.
So there's a lot in there to unpack. I mean, we're seeing Netanyahu, we're seeing Scott Jennings, just seeing things. So let me start with Scott Jennings really, really quick. Scott Jennings is not out there like a Nikki Haley warhawk. Let's go fight. Let's just go dive in. What Jennings said, he used the word Trump can't miss. Let's not miss the opportunity to conclusively end the nuclear threat from Iran, and let's not miss the opportunity to remake the Middle East. If Trump did something supportive, he would be justified, is what Jennings said, and I think he should get the Peace Prize. That is a hell of a lot different from the war hawks that are out there saying, you know, there's just sheer bloodlust. Let's go, 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 go. So I think the media is trying to make Jennings sound a little bit more war hawkish than he was there, especially because he talks about a quick action and then ending with the Peace Prize. Now, to Netanyahu, yeah, I mean, there haven't been, we can talk about inspectors throughout the Middle East, but, you know, there have not been inspectors that have successfully, you know, gone through Israel and, by the way, Arab countries who have their motives and they're trying to start trouble of their own, you know, have said, you know, hey, if you're going to inspect us, you got to inspect everybody. And so that's how I feel about that. But right now, I also think Netanyahu's being pretty shrewd because they say there's 60% of the people in Iran want regime change. We've seen the videos of people cheering. And so when Netanyahu goes out and says, let's make Iran great again, I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with your government. He's really trying to stoke the protests and stoke the opposition party to go do its thing. But, you know, he's no saint, but that's what's going on in my view.
Adam.
Bibi Netanyahu will probably go down as the Winston Churchill of Israel. So you can tell a lot about regime, not how they deal with external forces, on how they treat their own people. I would argue that the Ayatollah and the regime in Iran treat their people worse than any regime in the Middle East, possibly the world. You know, we've seen all this free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine movement. Cool, I get it. You know what movement I'm all about? All about free Iran. I'm all about free Iran. Iran has been hijacked by this theocratic, thug-like Islamic regime since 1979. I also believe in symbolism. They've been in power 46 years to be exact. Trump is president number 45 and 47, is he not? Smack dab in the middle of that is 46. I believe that Trump, when he says Iran cannot and will not obtain a nuclear weapon, I believe he knows what he's talking about. I believe that Trump believes in what he's saying. I believe he believes in his intelligence. For all the people out there that don't think Iran is working on a nuclear weapon, what the hell do you think they've been doing? What the hell do you think they've been negotiating? What the hell do you think they've been working on for a decade? That you think they're just having fun, peaceful conversations over nothing? They're developing a nuclear weapon, and Netanyahu's looking at them and he's saying, this is the line in the sand, and we're not going to deal with it.
But Adam, we said the same thing in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they didn't have anything. And we went to war for 20 years.
Yeah, were we doing nuclear negotiations with Afghanistan?
Well, of course, we send inspectors all the time.
We send inspectors. They
So
didn't find anything.
I want to
We're just going
understand
in
one
there.
basic thing. Do you think Iran is not developing a nuclear weapon? Is that what you're saying?
Adam, here's the thing.
Let Ricky ask that. Do you think they're not developing a nuclear weapon?
It's not about what we think. We can't start a war over a hunch.
There's
We
already
can't
a
go
war
into
going on.
But we can't get involved in a war.
America's
over a
not
hunch.
involved. I totally understand that.
I understand, but when we're moving our fleet down there and we're getting our army ready for it, our military ready for it. We're showing signs of aggression. That's the way I'm looking at it. On top of that, when we voted Trump in, he said as of day one we were going to stop the war with Russia and Ukraine. That didn't happen. And then as of day one that we were going to have that the Palestine-Israel things solved. That didn't happen. On the complete opposite, now here we are 100-something days in. Now we're getting ready to fund another war, help them with another war. That's not what we signed up for.
I totally understand and I totally appreciate why the American people are completely over funding foreign wars. I totally understand that. I'm with you. I don't want any American troops on the ground. But people have to understand there's nuance to this conversation. We don't have to have any American troops on the ground. If we want to live in reality, let's live in reality. Have American troops been in Gaza? 0. Have American troops taken out Hezbollah? 0. Have American troops been in Syria? Why is that any different in Iran? I hear you loud and clear. No American troops on the ground. No American lives lost. I'm with you. Israel has the ability to fight their own battles. Let's give a little credit to where credit due. They've taken out every single terrorist regime around them, and now they're about to knock out blow Iran. And America hasn't to do anything. So meanwhile, we've given Ukraine more money in the last 2 years than we've given Israel in their entire lifetime.
We don't have to physically be there to support that. As a matter of fact, the people in France, just all of them at the Bay, just said, "Hey, we're not going to be loading these weapons for them." In France, they're doing that right now.
Well, French is a bunch of gay frogs. What are we worried about that?
But Adam, but here's the thing. You're saying the intelligence. If the director of national intelligence, because you were saying, if Trump says it's there now. Just in March, they said he's not doing anything that you guys are claiming that he's doing. 0. He's not going to try. He's not trying to make a bomb. Why the flip? What? So from March, April, May, June. Now all of a sudden, in 3 months, what they've been saying. This is the clip right here, Pat. They play, and then this is what he says about. Is this the both videos, Rob?
Yes.
Okay.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
Okay, this is March, guys, mind you. In March, Adam, they're not making a bomb. I trust the intelligence coming from the director of national intelligence. Adam,
maybe we're living in two completely different realities because every piece of information I see out there
where are you getting it from?
Is that Iran is building a nuclear weapon.
Adam,
what are we even doing then? What are we even talking about?
Hold on, Adam. Everything that you're getting is from Israeli intelligence and Bibi Netanyahu, hold on, that's been wanting this war forever. He wants this war. And when people like you,
you're yelling
hold
doesn't
on,
mean you're right.
I'm just telling you the
Control
fact.
your emotions.
No, because you say stuff like free Iran. What's the plan, Adam? What's the plan? What's the plan? Look at it's not bomb the shit out of
pretty damn good right now.
Let me ask you a question. Because this is, I'm listening to this and I'm trying to hear everybody out. I'm really trying to hear Scott Jennings saying, bomb Fordo. And I'm really trying to hear Tucker saying, hey, don't go. And do you have the Tucker tweet when he says about the Mark Levin and he's got all the names? Not this one. There's another one. Just go to his handle and you'll see it if you go a little bit lower, go a little bit lower, go a little bit lower, go a little bit lower. Let me see what that one is above it. Click show more, please. Yeah, this is the one. The real divide isn't between the people who support Israel and the people who support Iran or Palestinians. The real divide is between people who casually encourage the violence and those who seek to prevent it, between warmongers and peacemakers. Who are the warmongers? They would include anyone who's calling Donald Trump today to demand airstrikes and other direct U.S. military involvement in a war with Iran. On that list, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Rupert Murdoch, Ike Perlmutter, and Miriam Adelson. At some point, they will have to answer to this, but you should know their names. Okay, so I think we talked about this on the podcast last week. I'm trying to understand what he's saying. Got it. So I'm trying to understand what President Trump is saying. Why is he attacking? Who has the most intel between you, between Tucker, between Jennings, between Trump, between all these guys? Who has the more intel on what's going on? Okay.
Trump. And it's
so
not even
then the
close.
question for me goes to the following. Remember when he killed Qasem Soleimani?
Yes.
You remember when he did that? Okay. Were you supportive of it?
When he killed,
Qasem Soleimani.
yeah,
Why?
because he was trying to do damage here in the United States.
So Iran's no longer trying to do damage to in the
No,
United States?
I didn't say that, but the conversation is nuclear.
No,
when you-
no. Stay on this. This is my question. That's
Yeah.
what I'm asking. And you'll see where I'm going with this. Because I'm trying to watch, I'm sincerely trying to watch everyone's patterns. My position's been the same for 46 years, okay, when it comes onto this topic. Because I lived there, I saw what they're all about. All I'm trying to ask is the following. When Trump killed Qasem Soleimani, how many Republicans who voted for Trump celebrated that day?
Every single one of them.
Why did they?
Because they recognize a threat when a threat is seen.
But isn't that an act of war when we killed their number 2 guy that was supposed to be the president and be the leader of Iran?
Yes.
So why did we celebrate? Why were we not upset? Actually answer that question, Vinny. Think about it. All of us. I'm asking that. I'm asking, why did that not upset, and why were so many people? Go back, time the tweet of what people said at that time. Show strength. Took them out. When you try America, check yourself. See what happens. Why were you not upset? And why are we upset now? What is the only difference between why were we upset, why were we not upset then versus now?
I think with the Soleimani, it was a strategic thing that took him out because he was trying to do stuff on our soil. This situation...
No, but what hasn't changed, though? Because, so meaning, it has to be at that time, if they did, because they were trying to do something on our soil, and after we kill them, they no longer want to? You don't think they no longer want to do anything to U.S.? You don't believe them when they say death upon America? You don't believe them? You think it's just an act?
No, I 100% believe them.
There's only one thing that's changed. What's the only thing that's changed?
The way that the what they call woke right views Israel.
That's it. The only thing that's changed is there is a community of people in the last, since October 7th, that absolutely cannot stand, trust anything with Israel, and that triggers them. You know, when I watch everyone, I listen to everybody. And I'm not listening to people that disrespect. Anybody that disrespects, boom, muted, block, go away, I don't need to. But if you say something to me respectfully, I want to hear it. Okay, I want to hear it. So think about people, rank things that trigger people the most. Can we agree that number 1 is Trump derangement syndrome?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see what happens when you see someone that hates Trump? How they react? They're like, hey, I want to read you some of these tweets of what Barack Obama said. And they'll read it. Oh, wow, that's powerful. That's amazing. That's this. Oh, that was actually Trump. Oh, really? Yeah. I want to read you what Trump said. Oh, that's why he's a white nationalist racist. Oh, these were actually said by Obama.
Yeah.
Obama never said that. Let me play the clip. You ever see that?
Yeah.
What does that tell you? TDS.
Yeah, TDS,
okay?
absolutely.
Rank me the top 5 deranged syndromes. If number 1 is TDS, what's 2?
Number 2
Israel.
is Israel.
I
derangement
guarantee number 2
syndrome.
is Israel.
100%.
By
So,
a mile
and by the
close.
way, most of you are in one of the 2 camps.
Yeah. If not both.
Yeah, some are in both.
Yeah.
But most of you are in both of the camps.
Yep.
So then what happened? Which one are we falling for? I'm trying to be as reasonable as possible, okay? I'm trying to see, like, when Netanyahu says, oh, they try to kill the president. Stop it. Stop it. It's like, dude, don't talk like that. I don't even like you talking like that. That doesn't, like, as a president, You know, when they're seeing this, is this the one, Rob?
Yes.
How long? Does he get into it right off the bat?
Yeah,
okay,
pretty quick.
Go for it. Watch this here. Do you have the one of Trump reacting to it?
I can find it.
Okay, play this clip here.
I want to talk about the nuclear threat, and I want to talk about President Trump.
Watch
you just
this.
said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy
pause it
number
right there.
one.
What was the answer? What was the answer?
Through proxies.
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. You didn't say, yes, we have it. Because if you got the intel, give it to me if I'm U.S. Okay. So one, why are you saying that? Are you saying that because you want the people to be even more like... Okay, so that's one part. The other part, when people say, you know, Trump is owned by Israel. You know, U.S. is ran by Israel. Come on, guys. I mean, both sides are playing the game to get eyeballs. And if the success is based off of how well your tweet did, and then that's like, oh, okay. No, that could also be the mob being on your side. But if we were happy when Qasem Soleimani was killed and we thought that's showing strength, what changed? My concern, Vinny, right now with this is I do think Iran's going to be, U.S. is going to be pulled into war. I do think it's going to be nasty. I do think the Iranian people want this. And I know this is going to sound weird, guys. When it was 1977, 78, 79, when eventually the revolution happened, the Iranian people, 9 million revolted in the streets. They wanted the Shah to fall. They wanted it, and it fell. I think the Iranian people right now, if you go look at some of the protesting videos that are being sent, they're celebrating, saying we're going to be free again. Yep. Do you realize, like, think about the most basic stuff. That Iran, if you think about the most basic stuff, I'll come to you, Ricky.
Yeah.
If you think about the most basic stuff, you think if you're living in Iran, you don't think you want tourists to come in?
Yeah.
Think about if you live in Iran, Vinny. Say you love your country. Do you want tourism?
Of course.
Do you want Sprint to be able to advertise? Do you want the TV to have access to NBC, ABC, HBO? Would you like that? Would you like to be able to get on social media without having to get a Starlink that's being given to you? Would you like to be a Christian walking the streets without having to worry about what's going on? Would you like that? You would like that. I would like that. What if you're like Ricky? Ricky is not wanting to leave California, okay? You don't think Ricky wants California to change? You don't think Ricky wants to see a red person come in there? Of course they do. The Iranian people who are living there, the Iranian people, want this to be done with Khamenei and their people. They want to be good with everybody around the world, and they're not today. They're not today. And so there is that camp. So to me, I'm simply watching everybody's position to see what argument they're making, to see where they're coming from. And I'm, in my eyes, whatever way this can get done with the least amount of friction is the best way. But at this point, it looks like we're headed in the direction of going to war. That's what it looks like as of right now.
Yeah, I think my question would be to you, Pat, was obviously, as many other viewers may or may not know, you're in a lot of communication with people that are involved directly with this, even people with Iran, living in Iran, same thing with you, Vinny. But my question would be, they want that liberation, they want a regime change, but at the cost of a war? Or is it a revolution they want to start and they want help with it? That would be my question. There's many angles of being able to achieve any goal. But do they want that war? Because that's going to come at the cost of their lives as well. It's going to come at the cost of their destruction as well. So I have no doubt that they want to change, but what avenue would they rather take?
What are their options?
Well,
for 46 years, they've tried every peaceful avenue.
Well, they revolted. I remember you told me when you were living in Iran, there was a revolt because of what happened with the theater. They killed people. They made it seem like
fire. Yeah, all of that. But at that point, that's because the U.S. CIA got involved. MI6 got involved. A lot of them got involved because they were fearing the Shah was getting too powerful, Iran was getting too powerful, and the Middle East was at peace. Even though guys go up there and say, oh, my God, you keep talking about the Shah. You ought to be done with talking about the Shah. And it's the truth. When it doesn't mean Israel didn't start wars. It doesn't mean Israel didn't go out there and look at their threats and have their motives. My basis was when Iran was ran by the Shah. there was good relations with Iran and there was no war there. They weren't causing wars. Iran was peaceful. For those of you guys that love business and you're super competitive, and I'm talking like a psycho competitor, you're somebody that wants to win at the highest level, and you know how challenging business is, that if you don't get your act right, somebody else is going to take your business away from you. This is when we're hosting our annual conference that's coming up here in September called the Vault Conference. We're expecting 12,000 people there. But one of the most exciting pieces of merch that guys wear who run, but you have to be bold to do this. Not for everybody. If you're a nice person, if you're sweet, if you're somebody that's always worried about what other people think, you walk on eggshells, this merch isn't for you. But if you're somebody that's tough, strong, you understand how hard business is, you understand that the real game of capitalism is super competitive, our official line of Business is War is back with some items here. Hat, straight up Business is War. You can get this one or the black one with white silver that says Business is War. On the bottom it says Future Looks Bright. Rob, if you want to play the clip of this new merch that just got launched, go ahead, Rob. What's going on right now? This couldn't be more accurate than what it is today.
Hell yeah.
Right? Because it literally is today. The market is changing, and those who realize there's war for market share, there's war for a lot of different things. So here's what we're doing. Anybody that places an order right now, go back, Rob, to that last picture that you had. Anybody that does gets that Business is War sticker, which is going to be sick. Put it on your iPad, put it on your, different places you can put that on. And anybody that places a over $100 merch, you get Business is War mug that goes with it. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order. Rob, can you go to the homepage of VT? Right there. You see that? Click on it. Get the shirt, get the hat, get the collection. Shop now. If it isn't for you, somebody that runs a business, you love, a family member, husband, sister, friend, get it for them. Send it to them. They will love it. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.